It is a parent's worst nightmare. 1,000 teenage partygoers taking over street, damaging property. Well, it happened this week in Brisbane. Nine News reporter Andrew Koss has the story.
A raging suburban nightclub. This was the moment a teen party descended into violence. As police attempted to move hundreds of partygoers on, the crowd, nearing 1,000, began to riot. 4 police cars were smashed.
It was a riot. Teenagers. Very scary.
The party, advertised on Facebook with a DJ and a $5 entry fee, was supposed to mimic Hollywood movie Project X, where a bunch of teens hold an out-of-control party.
Well, they got that bit right. How can parents control their kids' online party planning, especially if they're trying to avoid scenes like those? We've got a parenting expert, Justin Colson, joining us now. Justin, it's very hard to regain control from a situation. Once it gets to that, you've lost it. So how can you avoid it?
You need to start early. The first thing to do is make sure that you've got good relationships with your kids well before any of this happens. So have good relationships online and offline, and talk to them about what your expectations are and what your values are. Like you said, you can't do anything once it gets to that stage. But if you dive in nice and early, hopefully you'll be able to do something really, really effective.
Let's say your child sends out an invite to, 60 or 70 people that they know reasonably well, but there's a rogue in there who starts broadcasting to a whole different audience. You can still have these infiltrators, can't you? It's a dodgy situation.
And this snowballing effect's been going on for decades. It's not a new phenomenon because of social media. It's been happening since you and I were kids and well before that as well. The trick is to make sure that those who are invited do know what the rules are, but also to make sure that if you suspect anything might happen, get in early. Once some people start showing up that aren't on that list, make sure that they get out of there a lot earlier than when there's 500 or 1,000 of them.
And how do you go about convincing children that that this is it's a practice that is going to perhaps bite them in the future or come back to haunt them in some sort of a way? Because they're fearless. They're not living for tomorrow. They're living for today.
Yeah, those pictures show those kids are having a great time. They're not worried about anything except what's happening now, and it's fun. The trick is to have that good relationship with them early. So talk to them about consequences. If you pick up a stick, you pick up both ends. What's at the end of this stick if you pick it up? What's at the end of that stick? What consequences do you want? By having those relationships working both offline and online, be their Facebook friend, follow them on Twitter, make sure you know what they're doing so that you can dive in and say, hang on, this is starting to look a little bit scary.
Okay, well, these social media things can be fun, and we've got your advice here about how to keep it as contained as possible. Do you think that really powerful social messaging services like Facebook are doing enough to keep parental controls going, or have we already moved beyond that boundary?
Look, I really think that this is something that starts in the home. We can't keep shifting blame to Facebook or Twitter or any other online medium. It starts at home. It starts with mum and dad setting clear expectations. It starts with effective communication, monitoring what's going on online. It doesn't mean that we have to come down hard on them, but let's set limits, talk about values, do it together, don't impose things, work on it with them.
My eldest is 3. I've got about how many years, do you think, before
You're
I have
safe
to worry
for a little
about it?
while.
Probably only a couple. Thanks very much for that, Justin. Sarah?